There was football that took place. I know we both sort of kept across what happened in that game between Wales and Albania. Goalless it finished in the end after having played France in midweek, which they lost 3-0 Wales. How do you think the interim manager, Rob Page, will have assessed his side now going into this Euros coming up?
Well, he'd be delighted, no injuries. Touched on what I said yesterday. Also, you could add that Ramsey got minutes under the belt. Ben Davies, certainly another one, Joe Allen. So there's some good things there, that players that have been injured and some of them not had as many games as they would have liked at their clubs. That would have been a big plus for him. Brooks as well, you know, he's had an in-and-out season with Bournemouth, coming over a big injury. So there was lots of good things for him, like a 0-0 draw. I just don't... I think we went to Turkey before Republic of Ireland, before 19... Well, no, we did. We went and we played Turkey in a 12 o'clock midday kickoff where it was boiling hot and we drew 0-0. And all the feeling was just play the game, get the minutes under your belt and no more. And I didn't expect much from the Welsh game. There wasn't much entertainment. Kiefer Moore done well, came on at half-time. He added a bit more, led the line brilliantly for Wales. So that was another big plus for Rob Page. So, in general, I'd say that, look, they're in a really tough group. I mentioned it yesterday, that their group, you know, Italy and Turkey for a start, you know, Switzerland, they're three really good sides. So it's going to be tough for them. And they're all hoping of replicating something that they did a few years back that was pretty extraordinary. It's a big ask for Wales, big ask, because all their big players have got to turn up like they did last time.
Well, interesting you talk about their big players, none more so than Gareth Bale, who spent, as we know, the season on loan at Tottenham. Jose Mourinho has been speaking about him, his former Spurs boss, as we know, who lost his job earlier on in this season. He's not quite sure about Gareth Bale. Have a little listen into this.
Then over the years, they rely a lot on Gareth Bale and Ramsey. Probably the two most talented players of the country. But when I look to the season, how many matches Ramsey played, when we look to Gareth, how many great performances he had, how many goals he scored against the best teams, not many or none. I think clearly not an easy situation for a country that doesn't have many options.
So that was Jose Mourinho speaking to us here at talkSPORT, and he is part of our coverage for this European Championships as well. Not speaking so glowingly about Gareth Bale.
No, he was quite precise on what he was saying. Like, against the best teams, he's not scored, because he has scored goals for Spurs. And he is right that, you know, this season's been challenging for Ramsey, who's found it very difficult. I think he's got 2 goals for Juventus this season, which is a low return for him. Incidentally, he might go Rob Page of playing him as a false 9, Ramsey. That could be, because he's talked about that and sort of played that position. But I think Jose's got a point for this season. If you're going to go over the years and the best teams, Gareth did it regularly for Madrid against some of the best teams, scored goals. And, you know, I can remember his hat-trick for Spurs, against Inter Milan when they were a really good side. And so he's done it. He has done it against the very best. He's just not done it this season. But then I'll go back to what I've always said about Gareth, that if you have a year off of football, don't expect to hit the ground running. Don't think your level is going to be at the very top, because it's not. And I think they're hoping that, because towards the end of the season, his form looked like it, you know, I know it came with goals, but he looked like he'd sort of found his way. And I'd like to think Gareth's going to go into this tournament quite fresh.
Well, he certainly seemed to be enjoying his football this season, which, as we know, and with his latter time at Real Madrid, and who knows what's going to happen this season with him going back to Spain, it seemed as though it wasn't such a happy time for him out there. We know, obviously, it's well documented how the fans reacted to Gareth Bale, but it did seem as though he was enjoying himself back here towards the end of the season. Now, maybe that was down to the managerial change.
I've got a bit of a line on that, because I've seen it before. And when that phrase came out of Wales, golf, Madrid, didn't mention football.
No.
Right. And that's what it's been like. I've always felt that Gareth has forgot about football a little bit, and he's earning lots of money.
But wasn't that encompassing the Wales part?
Well, yes.
Perhaps.
if you're referencing golf before football, and you might go, well, that's obvious. He's mentioning football in Wales and Madrid. I just thought it was a strange thing to say. Maybe it's me being a bit.
But then, if he wasn't, and this is pure speculation, and we're going on the flag that you just mentioned. If he's not enjoying his time in Spain on the pitch, he may well have be enjoying it off it, because we all know about his lifestyle out there, and it seems to be.
I know he loves
nice.
golf. I know people who know Gareth quite well.
Absolutely.
And they say he's down to scratch. If you're playing scratch now, you are playing a lot of golf.
Yeah, he's spending a lot of time out on the golf course. But no, I realise that. What I'm trying to say is, look, I do agree with you. It was in hindsight, I'm not sure the flag was the right idea. But what I'm trying to say is, if he's not enjoying his club career at Real Madrid as it seems to be, perhaps that's why it was put in that order that it was. And now, as I say, towards the end of the season, it just looked as though he was a little bit happier. You saw him smiling out on the pitch. Right. So that will hopefully carry through into the Wales squad, and that's something Rob Page will be looking to, for him to be a leader, but to also have that happiness coming into a squad, because you do need that.
Oh, absolutely. I hope that Gareth Bale goes to that tournament, and even if he thinks it's the last throw of the dice for him, which is still too young for me at 31, but it's his choice. He's made a lot of money. But if he's got a lot of fight still in his belly that he can go and lead Wales, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see Gareth show what a great player, because no one's done better than Gareth Bale going abroad. No one. From Ian Rush and many others, Mark Haitley, Glenn Hoddle, and many, many others. He has been the outstanding player. McManaman won things going to Madrid. Look, Gareth Bale's surpassed everybody. And I just hope he shows a bit of that in the tournament. And because he did it before and he's capable. Gareth is a huge talent. It's just, I feel that love had slightly gone. And don't get me wrong, why wouldn't it go if you're not wanted at a football club and you're not a part? And Zidane clearly discarded him. That's hard for him, of someone of his stature who's won so much, to accept. So I get all of that. Just hope he finds something.
Well, what was lovely as well was that there was around 6,500 fans, I think, at that Cardiff City Stadium yesterday to send the team off, because they're flying out to
That's
Baku
the best bit.
tomorrow. Yes. Well,
the send-off.
Perhaps so, but they did do a little lap of honour, didn't they, to appreciate the fans that were able to get tickets for the game. And as I say, that the fans wishing them well as they look to, perhaps, as you say, it's a tough group, but look to get through the group stages, and who knows what will happen after that.